Hey everybody, good morning and welcome once again to Unplugged. It's been a hot minute since we've been away, about a month, and we've missed you. And we'll talk about why we missed you and why we haven't been on for a while, for a month, shortly. But today is a different. Today is a different. I don't. I don't know why I get an echo. Why am I getting an echo?
It's from me. I think you should continue.
Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. So today we're calling it So Tell Me Why. And we called it So Tell Me Why because that's my favorite phrase in Unplugged. So can you tell me why? So can you tell me why? So you see my colleague decided that that's what we should subtitle this hour with Julia Jacks. And then God works in mysterious ways, and He arranges in such a way that a really, really good friend of mine, great friend of mine, Ochuko Eju, who has been out of town all this time, who has refused to be my guest all this time, came on just in time to anchor this program. I couldn't think of anyone who could anchor it better at this time, even though he's still trying to escape it, even as we speak. So, Ochuke, the next hour is yours. Thank you for agreeing to anchor this session.
Okay, thank you, Julia. I'm sure, as everybody can see, I am still very nervous. I am trying to because these are really big shoes to fill. I think I have watched every episode of Unplugged. Maybe I just missed one or two, and sitting here to interview the mama of Unplugged is it feels a little overwhelming, but with God, we can. Okay, welcome everybody, and I'm sure everyone has had questions that they would like to ask Julia. There are things that we would like to know about her, the human that we know as Julia. So yes, we'll just get right into it. And there's a profile I had that I wanted to read, but I think instead of going to the official way of reading a profile and dropping all the big names and big portfolios on us, we will just we'll ask her to tell us about herself in ways that we can understand. So first of all, we'll start with tell us something about yourself, Julia. Just yes, tell us preferably something that will shock us, something that is not obvious, something that
Ah,
is not a certificate, something that is not a portfolio you have held in the past.
okay. Very many interesting things I can tell you. Number one, I was really annoyed when I stopped growing at 5'8". I wanted to be a 6-footer. I was
There,
really
there,
upset.
there might there are ways to get to 6 foot.
And no, not anymore. Not anymore. I can't do it anymore. And then
Okay.
I love music. I think everybody who knows me well enough, or maybe halfway well enough, knows I love music. But what they don't know is that I do like hip hop and rap music as well.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
yes, I do. What else would I've never. Oh, I was about to say I've never been on in a keke, but I think I have, even though they call it tuk tuk. But it is keke. It's keke, obviously.
Okay.
And I went with friends. Yeah, it's not something I probably would want to do regularly, but yeah, I've done that. Yes.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice. That's
There's,
interesting
there's
to know.
something. There's something I'd like to add, Uchike. There's
Okay.
some time ago, we were on Facebook and people were making comments about things, and I was talking about my childhood when I was growing up, well, my adolescent years, and I talked about how I could cook, clean, etc., etc. And the person said, "Oh, that he's going to go tell his daughter immediately that he never thought that I'd cook and clean." So I just want to clear it right and now. I'm not an ajebota. I knew how to cook. I knew how to clean. I knew how to scrub floors. I know how to do all those things. Like I
Okay.
tell people, the way I look is just a function of genetics. But I have muscles in places that you cannot even begin to imagine. So
Okay. That's interesting to
yeah.
know. Thank you very much. Okay, now we know I'm sure most people that know you know about Julia Jack's Consulting. We know about Unplugged, which is like the newest thing you have been doing of late. And we also know about tree. I know about Tree Water. Some people may not know about that. So could you just tell us what you have been involved in recently, things you have been working on, things you have been doing, work. We just want to know about your professional because some people know you as branding and stuff from way back. So I guess everybody would like to know, like in a nutshell, what you're doing now.
Okay. Let me start from what I did to begin with. I started off by lecturing in university. And I think being a teacher is still something that I like to be.
Okay.
Being a teacher is still something I like to be. I moved from there to advertising, marketing communications, branding, corporate communications. And now I'm in this phase in my life, in the third act of my life. Hey, my family is here. Hi, Afyon. Hi, Essien. Hi, great to see you. Sorry, I'm so excited to see them. I haven't seen them in such a
No, it's
long
okay.
time.
It's okay.
Afyon, happy birthday. I hope you had a great day. You know, so I've now forgotten my place. What was I saying?
You said you did lecturing and now you moved into branding.
Okay, so in this phase of my life, I'm most interested in branding, in coaching, in consulting, but really in a very, very, how do I call it, a narrow slice, in the sense that I want to do all of this within the framework of small and medium scale, even some micro businesses, you know, I
Okay.
enterprises. I like to see people grow. It's such a critical part of me that when people are with me or in my ambit, they should grow a step further. They should move
Yeah.
more than they want. So what JJC is about is really the consulting wing of the vision. Now, Tree Water is where we are going to truly have a business resource center. That is what it's
Okay.
going to be. Whether it's going to be for the creative industries alone, which is where my heart lies, truly, for the creative industries,
Okay.
and that is a wide space, Whether it's going to be for that alone, or we'll have general courses and then have some that are specifically for the creative industry. I haven't figured that out, but that is something that will happen very, very soon because, I mean,
Okay.
2020 has taught us that if you keep waiting, yeah,
There's
time will not wait.
2020
Yeah.
has been a lesson. Okay,
Yes.
that's interesting to know. So, I know everybody that knows you, well, for me though, you are someone that seems to always be motivated. I don't think I've ever caught you in a down moment, or I know definitely every human has those down times or those times where they are not feeling up to like 100, but I've never met you in that time, or even if I have met you in that time, you have done a good job to still be able to point to people around you, even in your down times. So please, we'd like to know, how do you stay so motivated? How what keeps you going? What's that thing that at the end of the day, even when everything seems to be falling apart, what's that thing that makes you see that okay, no, I have to keep doing this. I have to. That keeps you smiling. That's your smile you always have.
Well, first of all, it's people like you, Ochuke. It's people like your wife, Tammy. It's people like Tendai, Afyon, Lara, UC, Essien, my friends, people who come around me, people who I know that I can't let them down. You understand?
Okay.
My family also, my family is a great resource. And I also have friends, some good friends, some that will tell you, hey, come on, get out of that zone you're in. Because I do get in a zone. And this year in particular, I got in a zone. I've lost quite a few friends. both to the COVID 19 scourge and then other things. I've lost them, And even as I speak to you, it's almost the a day to the, I think, 17th or 18th anniversary of my mom's passing. So it's one of those times when I get a bit introspective and melancholic. But you know what to do? You put on your big girl panties, you put on some makeup, and you smile, because that's life until your heart stops beating. You have to
Yeah.
just keep moving. Yeah. So you just you keep moving. That's what I try to do. I just keep moving.
Wow. That's very, so basically it's more like the problems will come, the troubles are always there, but you just have to keep moving regardless.
Yes. And binge watch
Thank
Suits.
Suits. And when the season of Suits is over, what happens?
I binge
Okay.
watch Billions.
Okay. Now, Unplugged.
Yes.
It started in May. The
Yes.
first episode was in May, yeah. And
Yes.
since May, you've had like a series of guests that have come, and personally, I have gained like wealth of knowledge from everybody that has been here. So, just to ask, how did it start? How did Unplugged? What was the reason? How did that get birthed?
Unplugged was birthed from serious discomfort, from a place of
Okay.
serious discomfort, and let me use one big word there, being flummoxed by all this COVID thing. Just
Let me go on
I
Google
had
and check that word out.
I'd never actually been in a situation where life was so subtly so different from what it had been. And if it was a physical enemy that we were looking at, yeah, maybe you could tell where and how. But this was an
Yeah.
invisible one, and you didn't know who. It could be your loved one that's bringing. So every day, I know I prayed. I kept praying. What do I do at this time? What do I do at this time? Because, like most of us, I'm a creature of habit, and at my age, it's people talk about pivoting and pivoting. I, it's not always that easy. You do have a certain plan. At the beginning of the year, I sat down with my coach. We sat down and we planned certain things, and then all of a sudden they're not going to happen. So I just asked, so what's going to happen? What am I going to do with myself? Well, there are 12 months of this year. This is just March. What am I going to do? So the word unplugged, being unplugged, just kept coming into my mind, and I refused to overthink it. Discussed with my colleague, and then said, let's just start and let's see where it will go. So that's what
Okay.
it came from. It came from a place of discomfort, from a place of prayer, and from a place of being convinced that I would not be the only one. I could not possibly be the only one who's feeling uncomfortable and flummoxed by what's happening. Yes. So that's where it came from.
Okay. And Unplugged has really been successful. I think it has, because I know I watched the very first one with Demola. I watched the one with Uche. I watched with the former. I've been following it. And what has been for you like the greatest success with Unplugged? What's that thing that you look back now and you're like, okay, yes, because I'm glad I started. That gives you that joy to keep going.
I think the greatest success for me, two things. The fact that we pick up the phone and invite people, and they are willing to come on. They're willing.
Okay.
You understand? And then
People like,
also there's
not
every
people like us.
you come on, never mind. I don't give up so easily. And then we also have people who come on week after week after week. And I didn't really realize just how many people watch until when I had to take a break for my health. I had to take that break. And the number of DMs, messages I got from people saying, "Oh no, don't do that. I need you to stay on. I really look forward to your show." every week, and that made me that humbled me a lot, and it made me feel that this does add value to people, just as
Yeah.
I gain a lot of value from questions that people ask and from the answers that I get from my guests. I mean, we
Okay.
had someone who woke up at 4 a.m. because he was in Washington just to be on our show. You
Yeah.
understand? And that was one of the most widely viewed shows. But I think just the fact that we can pick up the phone, call people, and even if I don't know them, I can ask a friend, listen, I'd like to reach this person. Can you give me an intro? And they give me an intro, and I call, introduce myself. They check it out and say, okay, sure, I'll come on. And I
Yeah.
think that's good. I like
Okay,
it.
now you mentioned going to the next question. You already touched briefly on it. You said because I know for the past month we've not had any unplug. Would you like to tell us about what happened? And
Yes, yes, I would. I would. I became personally very unplugged myself. Um, Human beings are creatures of habit. I think. I think most of us are. There are very few of us who would like to keep changing things day by day. You know, and by September, was it September we stopped? Yeah, by September, there are certain things I had wanted to do with my life. You understand? With JJC, even that my colleague had wanted to do, and we hadn't reached there, we hadn't gotten there, and it just didn't look like there was an end in sight. And I tend to stress. That's the other thing I didn't tell you at the beginning. I tend to stress about it, and it had an effect on my well-being, on my blood pressure, you know. So I had to just get in bed and stay in bed until I got to a point where I convinced myself that no matter what it is, you need to get out of bed and do the best you can do. It may not be what you had planned to do, but you know what?
yeah,
For today, it's good enough.
yeah,
You know, I wanted to come on last week, and then I'll tell you
yeah.
something funny. Man. And my husband said to me, You want to come on? You haven't even had the energy to put on your eyebrows. You sure you'll be able to come on for 1 week?" I said, "Okay, you make a good point. I shall wait for another week where I can put on my eyebrows, guys." Yes, I put on my eyebrows every day.
Okay, okay, okay. Oh yeah, that's really because I think 2020 has really been a year that has come. It's a box that we are still opening, and
Yeah,
should I say, unfortunately, it's a box that is full of surprises. Surprises that, should I say, most of them have not been very pleasant. We've had to adjust our lifestyles. We've had to take a step back. We've had to question our decisions. We've had to, yes, ask ourselves some personal questions and face reality. So I think everybody has gone through that phase, and it's good to have you back. And
it's good to be
I
back.
know that I know that there's a lot you have planned, and we know we can't wait to
Yes,
see. Now, okay, I would just like to ask, Unplugged. I know it's not it's been online, it's run for like May, June, July, about 4 months. It ran for about 4 months before, 4, 5 months before you went up. 4 months, yeah.
about 5 months.
And
About 5 months.
yeah, so were there any challenges that you faced before,
Ah,
during, before you started, and when you started? Were there
oh,
any challenges?
okay. Which one do you want me to say?
I think you tell us challenges before, then move on to challenges while you're on.
Okay. Before, I don't think that the challenge was really getting me. Now, this is me. I didn't think I was a blockhead when it came to technology, but now trying to figure out which platform to use, I just realized like, Julia, your day is serious. You understand? But luckily, I work with with a millennial you know. So we were able to work out things, and then we had this argument about are we going to go on Facebook or are we going to go on Instagram? And we even had that argument with some of our guests, you know. And I figured that I wanted for now for us to be on Facebook because I find it a more robust learning platform. That is for me, for the kind of person I am. Now, technically, we had a lot of problems. We had to understand what it meant, how you should present yourself, how to, I mean, now we have ring lights. We didn't have anything. We didn't even know how to face the camera, how to face the lights and stuff like that, how to even adjust yourself. So the result of that was the very first time
Hope I'm adjusting myself well.
I had
I said, hope I'm
you're
adjusting
adjusting well.
myself.
You're adjusting well. My very first interview. Oh, okay, leave me alone. My very first interview with DSA. I spent it half of the time sideways until someone was kind enough to tell me, Julia, adjust yourself. I was like, to me, I was seeing myself. I was upright. I said, no, you're coming out sideways. You know, I was just so funny. Then we didn't have things like tripods. We didn't have stands for our phones. So there's sometimes I'd hold the phone in my hand throughout. You know, and keeping. I don't know. I don't know if it shows. I don't know if anybody noticed that, but sometimes my hand will be shaking, and then I'd transfer it to the other hand and be shaking and stuff like that. And then, of course, you know, we started in the heart of the rainy season, and every time it rained, the network went off. Yes, the network went off. So we've had those kind of issues. We haven't had issues with our what do I call it now? Actually running the program, because once we are up and running, it would flow. It would flow naturally. And I also decided from the beginning that there are just a few too many serious things happening on Facebook, on social media, you know, and I didn't want to be another serious thing. I didn't want Unplugged to be another serious thing. I wanted it to be important, but I wanted us to have a little bit, let it be relaxed, you know, let there be a little bit of fun, because that is who I am, really. That's who I am. Let's relax, let's have fun when we are doing it. Let's ask questions. Let's stay away from the private domain, but let's ask questions that will make people laugh. And when I discovered, for me, when I laugh as I learn anything, I learn better, because I remember how learning it made me feel at that time. So yeah, we've had some very serious people, very serious people. So the challenge has been to make them laugh. Yes, relax. And we've had some people who would not talk at all, and the challenge has been to make them talk, you know. Yes, we've had quite a few people who have been very shy, extremely shy, you know. But what people don't know is that behind the scenes, we do a lot of pre-production work. We do a lot of dry runs. Yes, we do a lot of research. We get questions from the Unplugged community, but we also do a lot of research on our own, and it's worked out. I'll tell you also something else that has made me. I'm not sure I'm answering your question, but you have to forgive me because I'm old.
No, just go on.
So I can
there are no laws or boundaries.
We found out recently that some of the people that we have featured on Unplugged have also been featured elsewhere by coincidence. I'm sure it's by pure coincidence. Or what is that thing that I want to throw some more big English at you, Chuke. So as you know, you can come on this program. It's serendipity. You know?
Okay, I know that one. I know that one. I know that one.
You know? So after they featured with after they featured on Unplugged, they go on to be featured elsewhere. Recently, we had I'm not saying that it's because of Unplugged. I'm just saying it's nice to be associated with those kind of things.
Yeah,
We had
yeah.
one of our guests, actually the two of them, Nelly Ating and Merban Osaze Irabo, they have featured on other platforms. Merban has been featured in on radio Nigeria Info, talking about life on the streets. He's a photographer, and Nelly, as a visual photographer, has had her story on BBC.
Yeah, I saw that.
And that's yeah, that's very heartwarming for us. We have amazing Lara Cookie, who never stops being featured because she's just amazing that way, with what she does. She's an incredibly creative person. She's featured on different things. She's an award winner. We have so many award winners. I think I should have won an award. Hey, somebody out there, give me an award, sir,
We'll
And
make
then
one
we've
for you.
had, please do, and I'll keep it unplugged. And then we've had, who else? Who did we have? Who had another thing? Victor Eko was also recognized by his community by his estate for all the great work he had done. And when he posted the information, I told him, like, this is like it's more than time. I mean, he's done so much great work,
Yeah.
drawing the links between Africa and the diaspora, and taking it even to the Middle East. So we've learned a lot. I've learned so much. I've had such a great time
Yeah,
in
it's
Unplugged.
it's really been a good one. Honestly, me too. I have been following it, and I would say yes, I have gained like a lot. People have talked about how resilience has helped them push through, how they started with little, how they just had to keep going. I've heard all the stories, and yes, and you just see that in summary, boils down to the same thing: perseverance, resilience, being focused, and yeah. So yeah, now I would just like to ask you another question because you already talked about it briefly. We know that Julia is someone who always has plans. There's always something brewing. There's always something. So now let's narrow it down to okay. There's a comment from SCN. She says Julia for me is the embodiment of resilience, but more than that, she's a wonderful person, a great friend, a progressive and forward-thinking person, and a successful businesswoman. And I totally agree to
Thank,
everything.
thank you,
Okay, now
thank
for
you, thank
Unplugged,
you.
where do you see it going? For Unplugged first, we're just talking about Unplugged now. Where do you see? Let's tell us about the vision you have. Where do you see it going? Let me give a time frame, like 3 years. Where do you see Unplugged? I don't want to go to the five
I
years,
want
which is the
Unplugged.
usual one.
I want Unplugged to be at that level where, and I'm allowed to have my audacious goal and dreams at that level where we
Definitely.
can call a Michelle Obama, and she's happy to come
Nice.
because she knows she can have fun and she can deliver value. Yes, I want Unplugged to also have a. I want there to be a really vibrant Unplugged community that come not because we are the new latest thing, the new fad, the new trend. We don't want to be people who will trend. We want to be people who will be here to give you value and make you laugh, enjoy yourself while you're giving value. So that is what we'd like to do. We'd like to be known as a solid product, a talk show. Whether we'll always remain on this platform, I don't know, but I know that the possibility of being on one platform and streaming on multiple platforms is real and present. So that is something
Okay.
that will do. And we may probably have some unplugged live programs once we can go unplugged, because that's segues very neatly into the coaching aspects that I've done. And when you coach people, you coach a lot of people who are unplugged from one aspect of their lives to the other. Yes. So so far, that is what I think I'd like to share with you
Okay.
concerning Unplugged. But I really want to keep getting, and it's not just the Michelle Obama. I want to get the woman selling ching ching down our street. You understand? The woman selling a car down our street, so she can talk her own, speak her own truth, tell her own story. There's always something to learn.
Yeah, there
You know,
is.
I'll tell you something. There's a poem I wrote which I haven't finished during the lockdown. You know, we had a brief period of a lockdown in River State, and her name was Hope. The woman's name is Hope, and she fries akara down my street. And I started. Hope lives down my street. You understand? And Hope every day. Hope goes with her three children. Her husband carries the basket on his head. You understand? I want to talk to people like Hope because every time I walked past there on my daily walks, I realized that look, this is another human being. Let me stop. So one day I stopped and I asked her, "What's your name?" And she told me her name. What are your children's name? What you know? I want. She has dreams. She has hopes. Julia Jack's Consulting Unplugged may not be the platform for her, but perhaps it might be the platform for somebody to intervene in her life. But are there
Yeah.
lessons to learn? Yes, because every day of that lockdown, that lady went out with her three children, no matter what. She didn't have the luxury of saying, "Oh, I don't feel good today," or "I feel melancholic," or "I feel sad."
Mm,
She had to go out, and that was a
yeah.
major lesson that I learned from her. So there's so much that you can learn from people from different walks of life, even if they're not your primary community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we have a question here from Ijoma. I'm just going to read it.
Okay.
It's a long question. It says Julia was my first
Okay.
boss and mentor. Our relationship has evolved over the years, and today she is my friend and sister, but still my mentor. Like me, I see many young people pass through what I like to call the school of Julia. So my question is, why are young people important to Julia?
Young people can only be important to me because, you know, however much I fool myself, I'm not going to be here forever. Their values, their beliefs, their attitudes, their states of mind that we must pass on to the next generation. And one thing I know that we must pass on is that grit. Life might be easy in some parts of the world, in certain aspects, but in other parts of the world, it will not be easy. You understand? There are
Yeah.
always challenges. And that's one thing I've realized in my life. I haven't had a free ride. I haven't had an easy ride. I've had challenges, you know, but put on your makeup, do your hair,
Big girl
look
panties.
good, put on your big, in fact, not, if your big girl panties are on, pull them up there and then step out and, and say, yes, we're going to do it. So I find I think I have a naturally nurturing personality. Now, the people who look at me and look at this face will say, no, I'm not nurturing at all. But I am. I am. I am. And when, but okay, why are you laughing? Am I not nurturing?
You are, you are.
That is such an insincere response.
No, you are. I'm serious. Okay, you are nurturing.
you know. So I when I find people who are willing to sit down and let's talk, then I'm there. And once I'm in your life, it's like I'm like a limpet. You have to actually fight to get me off because I'm like, so how about this? So how about this? How are you doing this? So I just like to stay there. And Ijeoma has been my friend, really. She's really been my friend, even when we had a formal work relationship. I never had those work relationships which were very, how do I call it, stiff. You understand? We always had time to hang out, go have a drink, go play, with each other. So I think it's been important to me to have those kind of relationships.
Yeah.
Yeah, and keep them. Yeah.
Okay. I'm just going to say something now. Um,
Okay.
I'm one of the people that have passed through the School of Julia, or I'm still enrolled in the School of Julia as it is. And I'd just like to share the very first time I met Julia.
Okay.
I think in church, a pastor had given her my phone number to reach out to me about a new team that was to be set up, a communications team. And then the person just calls me once at Sunday afternoon and like, hi, my name is Julia, and Pastor gave me your number and would like to be part of the team. Blah, blah. And in my head, I was like, oh, they have come again, church people. And I said, okay, no problem, we'll see. And I know the calls came and for months, and I got a few messages. And in my head, I was just like, it's another one of these church people. Because, um, first of all, when I heard Julia's voice, I thought it was one of all these young girls that was calling me. Only for the very first day I was in church, and someone says, "Oh, that's Julia." And in my head, I was like, "Which Julia?" They said that no, that's Julia Jax. And I was like, "Are you serious?" And I think I almost went on my knees that day and said, "Good afternoon, ma." I felt very like should I say, a very disrespectful youth that had,
Oh.
I just felt really terrible with myself. Like, can you imagine the person that you have just been taking for a ride? And since that day, after we met in communications team, we worked
But I
together for a
wasn't
while.
upset.
No, you were
I
not
wasn't
upset.
upset,
That's it.
Uchike.
You,
No.
if you were, if you were upset, it would have been easier to deal with. But the fact that you just carried on smiling, oh, Chike, it just felt, there's this thing about when you feel guilty and the person is not addressing your guilt, it makes the guilt even more guiltier. Let me use that word.
I
So in
didn't
my
know you
head,
were
I was
feeling
like,
guilty. I was just happy
in
to meet you.
in my head, I was like, can you imagine? And I know since that day, I just fell in line, and yeah, work came in between and all. And since that time, there are times I just feel like, oh, this thing, it has passed the one that me I can do. And I'll just be like, Auntie J, are you around? Can we see? And we'll go. And even times where we had to do transactions, when I was in banking, when we had to do transactions, I know that every visit I would always leave with something. There was always something to take away. There was always something to go with. And for that, we all in the school of Julia, I think Ima Abasi, we all in the school of Julia, we are all very
That's
grateful.
my Ada. That's my Ada in the school of Julia, in my
No
Basi.
problem. We are not looking for position. We are just glad to be in the school at all. We are just glad that we're even accepted in the school. We don't care where we, even if we're in the back seats, the window, anywhere, just being in the school of Julia is satisfying enough. Now, I would now like to ask about plans going forward. We talked about Unplugged, which you've told us how you wanted to go global, bring in international guests, and keep impacting lives. Now, for Julia, because we know you are more than Unplugged, you are, if I would say everywhere, but that is not in the derogatory form, because you are this kind of person that you are everywhere, meaning you have different places where you're adding value to people and different channels that you use to do that. So could you just tell us, wow us with some of your, I know you might not want to reveal everything, but just tell us about where you see yourself in the next 5 years, what you would like to be doing, what you would like to possibly have achieved or be achieving or be working towards finally closing in on, or something. Just give us small insights.
Okay, Uchike, this is something I've thought about a lot, not just for this program, but I've thought about it a lot. I would like to be one of those people who work with the other good people in and really hardworking people in River State, Akwa Ibom, Cross River State, in the Niger Delta to begin with, to create a vibrant private sector. I realized
Yeah.
that a lot of the work that people do here is minimized because they're working with only the government and politics, and that is okay. But who said that there cannot be a vibrant public sector? So as much as I can, I'm going to use my energy to push people. Let's gain the skill. Let's gain the knowledge. Let's gain the exposure. Let's gain the network, the connections. Let's build a bigger house. Let's bake a bigger pie. Let people stop being Julia, son and daughter incorporated, just small, doing a little
Tear down the
business that is
walls.
getting. Yes, let's tear down the walls. Let's not even be aware that there are walls. You understand? Let's get boundaryless. You understand? Because we need to grow. We need to grow. One other thing that I didn't tell you about at the beginning about what I am a serious patriot of Nigeria. Serious patriot of Nigeria. I love this country with all my heart. And marriage brought me to River State, and I can't sit down in here in River State and it's okay for us to just be like this. For a few people to do well because they're in certain circles. Let's grow. Let's have another circle. Let's have a circle of very successful business people. Yeah. So whatever you do, it's not that you have to go to Lagos before you thrive. I love Lagos people. Lagos, I was born in Lagos, and I'm Moiko. Lara, I'm Moiko. T-Bones, you know now. You know, I was born in Lagos. You know, when I had to be torn away from Lagos by my parents, and then later by marriage, it was like they're tearing out my heart. But this is where my family is. And so it's important to me that this place, and I come from Cross River State. Akwa Ibom is between here and Cross River State.
Yeah.
Delta State is around the corner. Edo State is around the corner. Why can't we grow? Why can't we grow? And if we can build a good template, and I would want to work not alone, it's not something that I can do by myself. I want to work with similar-minded people who have that private sector entrepreneurial mentality, and we can grow together, grow.
Okay.
Make space. It may not happen for me, but I want to be part of those who create that foundation. I know my friend Ibim Cemetery is one of those who thinks that like that, and my sister Geraldine Oku is one of those who thinks like that as well. You know, and just to meet with more people and sow the seeds and let the oaks grow. Yeah.
Okay. Now I would like to ask a question. You know, you talked about collaborating and doing things. I'm going to read these comments very soon. Very interesting comments there. But let me just ask a question from what you said now. One thing that I have noticed around these parts is that people are afraid of collaboration. They see, yes, you can't be in business and not have competition because competition is good, it's healthy for business. But most people have gotten to the part where they now see everybody as a competition. There's really no space, no mindset. The minds are not open for collaboration or alliances that could yield something bigger. So I'd like you to just speak to that. Why do you think it is that way, and what do you advise people to start doing? How do you think that kind of that wall, that mindset can be broken?
Okay, number one, I'd say it's a very counterproductive mindset because me, myself, and I Incorporated can only keep you in a very small place. If you want to stay small, that's fine. But that is not good for the economy of the nation. It's not good for the economy of the state. You understand? We cannot be beggarly and weak and beggarly. We cannot continue to be that. We have to pool our resources. I am very happy to work with anybody that I feel that we can pool our resources and have a major conference, a major business resource hub, a major anything so that we don't just sit down and look and say, hey, those people that are in Lagos, those people that are in Abuja, how did they do it? They did it because they just dared to. I was asking, I think it was you the other day, I was asking, I said, how do banks, do you think it's only one person's money that builds a big bank? No. People come together in the first instance, put together their money before they have IPOs. You understand?
Yeah.
We have to have that courage. We have to have that courage. We really have to get up and stop thinking small. You know,
Yeah.
this is the area I've spoken about. We are typically an oil services, oil, petroleum development, and network, and also hospitality. There's so many things that we can do that are big in these areas.
Yeah.
Instead of us just having little hamlets, why must we be satisfied with hamlets when there are cities?
To take over.
You understand? Yes. There are territories to be taken over. Why am I just going to be happy to just take one or two steps? Okay, my big sister is here now. She just called me my smallie. Hmm.
I saw that, but I would just I can't speak to that right now. That's between family. Now, we have a comment here from Ola. Ola says, Unplug going global. The show will definitely be relevant and impactful in the international space. Thank you. Tony Achibong says,
Thank you.
Julia Ma Iyang, a long-standing sister and family friend, come boss and mentor, and now respect friend for life. Respect, I think that more grace Ayeneka. I know that word, Ayeneka.
Thank you.
Ima
Yes.
Abbas says, once enrolled, always in the school of Julia. Lara says, Julia always adds value. Essien
Thank
says,
you.
this is such a thoroughly enjoyable episode of Unplugged. Great stuff. Ima Abbas says,
Thank
Julia
you.
is a deep well of wisdom. As her native name Ian suggests, she's an ocean, a force. Nice.
Thank you.
Joanne says, always in the school of Julia. I
Oh,
have been flogged, scolded, and constructed, knowledge gained. She's a mom, mentor, and most especially, she's so much more. She's a sacrificial giver. She always used her energy to impact others. You are loved. Why I'm
thank you.
reading these things is because most times we wait till when the people are not here before we hear or see these kind of things. But I'm a strong believer in saying it when the person can hear it, not when they are no longer here. Now, UC says there are many words that can describe Julia Jack's way, but one word stands out: strength. You always bounce back. I'm in that school of Julia too. Here's my question. Like everybody out there, you have challenges or hit a wall at certain times. The challenges you face today are quite different from the ones you have faced at different times in your life. What has changed about these challenges? How do you cope with these challenges? And what do you leverage on to scale through these phases?
First of all, I'd like to full disclosure. UC is my colleague, and UC is going to get a query for asking me this kind of difficult question.
The question has A, B, C.
See, you see, it's not fair. It's not fair.
Do you need extra sheets?
I need extra sheets, so let me see. I don't know what I did. Let me. Okay, so no, I don't want to show it. I want to hide it. Oh, sorry, I don't know what I'm doing. Which is the whole
It's
thing
it's
about
off.
unplugged.
It's off now. You can just
Okay, it's
go
off
ahead
now.
to answer now. Yeah, it's off now.
Uh, I don't know if there's enough time for me to talk about the different challenges I've faced. But one thing I know is that I deal with failure. I have failed at many things, but I don't like to stay down. I might stay down for long, for a while, longer than other people might think I should stay down. But eventually I want to get up. Maybe that is the resilience, that
Yeah,
she's talking about. The challenges I have faced, they're numerous. Sometimes they're actual physical challenges, like what I faced for the past month, where I've been
yeah,
dealing with high blood pressure issues, and I think I dealt with it so well that even my family forgot that it was a pre-existing condition. That is now a new word in our lexicon. So it was an underlying, it was an underlying condition.
underlying.
It was an
This year has
underlying
brought
condition.
many, many. This year has
Anything,
many.
yeah. Dealing with health. That has
Okay.
been my major health issue. I've faced dealing with that. I'm not using it as an excuse not to get up and do what I have to do. I've faced receiving no because I'm a woman. You understand? I've faced receiving no because I came into a new environment in Lagos. I came into a new environment when I went back to Lagos, and I had to find my way, navigate my way into the, the 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 places that mattered, and do what I felt I had to do. I just feel there's so much in me, and I would be doing myself a disservice. I'm doing God a disservice if I do not bring those things out. Um, Coming to Port Harcourt has been a different kettle of fish, really, because I had to learn a whole new way. I mean, I've never seen people who like to go to their village like. And it's a good thing because I like the culture. I like looking at that. But you see, after a while, I keep asking, okay, so how about the business? What are we going to do? How about the business? What are we going to do? And I like the fact that there are young people here. Some young people are on this program as well, and they're thinking. I hope I'm challenging them to think. It
Yeah.
gives me great joy if they get out of here. I know Afyong is a writer, and um, she's an entrepreneur actually, as well as being a creative um, writer. I think she's got 2 books. Afyong, I might be wrong, but I think you have 2 books, and she also has a magazine out. So how can Afyong leverage her way to the wider world? How can her voice be amplified? If through JJC, if through Tree Water, we can help amplify the voices of young people, of people who probably would never have had a break in their lives, including me, because people gave me breaks in their life.
Yeah.
In my life, then yes, then that would be that. Just you see, to answer your question, it is the possibility that I can help open a door, like people open doors for me, that keeps me going, that keeps me bouncing back.
Wow, interesting, interesting. We have a few minutes to go, and yeah, we'll just keep going till we say stop. Now, you're someone that has built a career and has been in the space for like a while. You've seen different times in your time when you were working, and these are different times where you see there's a lot of technology, there's a lot of things going on. Any advice to people out there trying to build careers or businesses in this time? I know definitely saying that from your time and back to now and to this time, there are certain principles that I'm sure that have not changed. So what would you like to say to someone that is trying to build a career or build a business in this present time? What would you tell them?
Grit. Grit is very important. You have to have it in you, and you have to have people around you who will reinforce that grit. You also have to have a healthy dose of optimism, because without hope, that grit will just, I mean, one day you won't get out of bed, because there's so many things. There's so many local government officials who are waiting to collect one thing or the other from you. So many multiple layers of taxes, which my sister can get into that, things that are designed to actually laid out to make you fail. You also have frenemies. So when you're choosing your circle of friends, please be very careful about who
Yeah.
you choose to be around you, So because there are some people who it seems that they're your friends, but trust me, when rubber hits the road, mm-mm, mm-mm, they're sabotaging you. And it takes a lot of discernment. And then I'll tell you, we all believe in something bigger than us. I believe in God. I believe in Jesus Christ. Hold on to that thing, because you're not going to have the answers. There are many days, months where I cannot see in front of us. And when you see would ask me, what are we going to do next? And I tell her, I don't know. Give me a while. And initially when I tell her, I don't know what we're going to do, she'd get worried. And I could see it visibly that she's really worried. And I said, don't worry, something will come up. And as we're talking, something comes up, and I said, why don't we do that? Now, one of our most successful series was the business toolbox. And it just came, we were just talking about it, and I just said, why don't we do that? And she said, what would be inside? Now, Lucy is the kind of person, in fact, she's really a yin to my yang. You know, she's the kind of person that as soon as I have an idea, Lucy wants to knock down, who are we going to get? What are the dates, etc., etc. Oh yeah, let's call this person, let's do that. I said, chill. It just came into my mind right
Slow
now.
down, slow down.
Slow down, slow your roll. Let's start doing this thing. You know, let's think about it. Who can we do? But I realized that it has been very successful. People still ask me about it, and it's something that I think we're going to bring back. You know, in one form or the other, and we'll keep bringing it back because there is always something new to learn. So I need to stop and say hi, Tammy. She's saying hi to her face. She came to say hi to you. That's Ochuke's wife. I know she didn't come to say hello to me, even though I love her to pieces. Hi, Viv. Yes, Vivian was my colleague as well. Hi, Jerry, big sister. Thank you for calling me Smolly in public. Osaze, my son. Gloria, hi, sis. I love you, sis. Thank you so much. Joanne, yeah, thank you. I just wanted to say hello to everybody because I haven't said hello to you. I haven't seen you in a long time, and I have truly missed you. I have.
Wow, this has been a very, very, very and it feels good that I'm the one asking the questions here, you know.
Yes. Okay, so I'm
It
going to
feels
ask you
good,
a
huh?
question. What
No,
do
we're
you
not
really
done
want to
with
know
it.
about?
What
What do
do?
you really want to know about me?
Those are the things we've asked, really. I think I know enough from being around you, really. I
Okay.
don't think, except there's anyone watching has a question, you can just pop it in the comment section and we'll take it. But I think I know enough. And right now, I just want to say it's been another wonderful time on Unplugged. And there's something else I would like to just add. I know you're somebody that is always, and me too. I'm in that very place. Always you're passionate about innovation. You like new ideas. I know you've even come to me and you've asked me, how can we do this? How can we do this? And how can we do that? And yes, I know anybody that is around Julia, she gets you to this point where you always begin to think. You have to just keep thinking of next steps, next level, and next everything. Now, I personally, there's one phrase I hate that when I hear it is when people say that's how we've always done it. That's how we do it. That's how we have that thing. I think if you call me a fool, if you insult me, I don't think it will hurt me as much as that's how we've always done it will get to me because I believe that there are always better ways to do things. So I'd just like you to share with the people how you stay so innovative, how you stay so innovative, why, or maybe the why or the how, or how to, so that they can know how to do that. An interesting thing about Julia that I experienced years ago as her colleague, she invited herself to my house, made me prepare lunch for us. She then told me off as regards my performance in the agency at the time. Very creative. It sank and I turned around. Yes,
Oh my word.
that happened.
Tony, I wanted to eat your food. So I was killing two birds with one stone.
So you had the food, then you dropped the bomb.
Yeah, but you know, that's part of it that a lot of the people I worked with were my friends. So I could go to their houses. You understand? And I didn't think that you necessarily had to say difficult things in a stiff environment. You understand? I have been a recipient of those People say, sit down there, we've been looking at you, and and by the time they leave you, you're all bashed, your confidence is battered. But if you can actually sit down with someone in a relaxed environment and talk about things, I think it works. And Tony is one of the greatest artists I've had the benefit to work with. Never mind the fact that we were family friends from Calabar. I mean, like his family and my family, our parents, etc., etc.
Yeah.
So yes, unfortunately, he doesn't have a son, so my daughter is not likely to marry into their family. So, but if you have a young nephew, Tony, keep me informed, keep me informed. But I've forgotten your question.
Okay, no, I said just can you just tell how people can stay innovative and how you stay innovative and just give an advice on how people can stay innovative because I know that's something that will really help businesses get better.
Uchike, I'm a very restless person. I think it's because I have that creative gene in me, and all the creative people here will accept. I'm a very restless person. Once I've done something over and over and over again, I'm like, okay, how else are we going to do it? Because I'm bored. And that bored is not like I'm bored with doing this, I'm bored with doing it in a certain way. And I think that is a very positive restlessness,
It is.
because it is when you are positively restless, you can do something else. You can think about how to do things in a different way and not be too afraid of failing in
Yeah,
doing it. Because in failing, you will
you
learn
learn.
a better way. Yes, you will learn a better way of doing things, and that's how we push things forward. And there are many things I'm extremely passionate about. Many things. One of the things I'm passionate about is that the image, the perception of Africa, Nigeria outside these shows, right? And I throw a challenge to the visual artists, to the photographers, to all those storytellers to say, you know what, we need to tell stories apart from the stories of uh, that mother and child who's always looking like they're 2 minutes away from starvation. We need to tell stories that are apart from hippos. I mean, listen, I've seen hippos in my life, but they're not in my backyard. We
Yeah.
need to tell stories that let people know that this is a whole rich continent. I have a friend here who is from Zimbabwe. I want to go to Zimbabwe. There are things there that I would like to learn about the country. And I'd like her to come here to Port Harcourt and learn about the country. There's so many things that we'd like to know. But first of all, can we have, why don't we have Shutterstock? Why don't we have Getty Images? You understand? Like that is Afrocentric, taken from
Yeah.
our own lens. And that is a challenge I'd like to throw out there. That is a challenge I can think of. Another thing I want to say quickly, because I know you're about to rush me off because we have come to the end of 1 hour, and I didn't know it was going to be. I didn't know it was going to go so fast. I'd like to say right now, in my very personal capacity as Julia Okujaks, I'm extremely hurt, disheartened, and saddened by what is happening with our children in this NSARS or NSWAT. Um, I don't know what to
The
call it.
protest.
But it's more than that. It's almost turning out to be something like a turning point, a tipping point. But this is something that I've always been like sometimes a closet activist, but always there's been that activism inside me. And I think that we need to say, not against the policemen, not against, but stand for social justice. Stand for the fact that the policemen themselves need to leave. I have visited many police barracks, not military barracks really, but many police barracks, and the way they live generally would make me really annoyed every day if I had to wake up with that environment. And I know they have wives, they have children, they have things to do for themselves. They have goals, they have plans just like us. But to turn this thing around and say, we are the generation, my generation wore afro. We wore those afros. Your generation wears twists and stuff like that. My generation had earrings like that. Exactly. Your generation will probably have one. You know, your generation will put all kinds of manners of colors on their hair and carry their laptops, carry their phones. Some of these phones, they may look expensive, but they're actually resold, resold and resold and resold. So they're, by the time a young person is carrying an iPhone, it's probably not a very expensive iPhone, you understand? But it's what he needs for his business, what she needs for her business. And so, why are
Yeah.
we going to kill them? Why are we going to rape them? Why are we going to put them in prison? Those are the things that I'm not just going to say end SARS. I think we need to get to the bottom of these things because we can't just keep it at this superficial level. It is not
Yeah.
okay at any point in time. And the more people of my generation who keep quiet about it, the more we are going to mourn our children. I don't want to mourn my children anymore. No more. I don't want to. So I'm going to
Thank
encourage people who are in my generation, please. I'm not going to tell you to stop doing what you do to your hair because it looks good and it's what you did. It's what, yeah, you like it. When I was sporting afros, and I did have an afro, guys, I did have an afro. One day I put my old pictures here. You know, I did.
Yeah.
I did have an afro. Yes, and I wore those shoes that were high. And our parents looked at us and they didn't understand us, but they still lived with us all the same. You know, they loved us all the same, and we could go out and not be called Yahoo boys. And you know what? If you're so worried about the Yahoo boys, you know, there's that one whose name ends with Poppy. How come we didn't catch those ones? Please don't catch the one in my backyard. And it's just my son, please.
Oh, thank you very much for speaking to that because that's a really serious thing going on right now. And the fact that
Yes,
you are identifying with that really says a lot about the kind of person that we all know you are. Thank you very much. It's been 1 hour, 7 minutes of
yes. Can
having
I just
fun
thank
with
a few
Julia.
people, please? I want to thank a
Definitely.
few people.
It's your platform.
Okay. No, but you're in charge today. You're in charge today.
No.
And I think we should have this from time to time. Have guests come in and ask other. I mean, I have my sister Tendai. I have my sister Zenzi. I have Jerry. I have so many people. I have a few. I think it would be nice to have them not asking these questions though, but ask other people things you want to know. So, guys, if you want to do it, please hit me up. You know, hit me up and let me know that you'd like to do this as well. But I want to thank the people. We had an Independence Month giveaway because we realized we were so quiet on our platform. So we had two books, Aspire by Ikaite Umor, which is a business book, an extremely well-written business book, easy to read, but extremely well-written. It hits all the points. And then we also had the cover book, Nigerian puzzle book, yes, by Inobong Etuk. So we got copies of that, 4 copies of each. I want to thank all those people who answered our questions in our Independence Month getaway. Ireti Maple Dapa, Ireti Go, thank you, Gail. Merban Osaze Irabo, thank you. John Tamdownamia, Favor Nwachi, Geraldine Oku. Now, my sister was about to kill me if she didn't win something. Um, we didn't we didn't do any mago mago. She just won one of the books, you know. But I suspect she would have beaten me. Gloria Henry Edith, Rita Tajiri, Ijoma Aguba. Thank you very much for participating in our quiz and for if you haven't gotten your gifts already, you'll get them very soon. But we started giving them out already. Thank you. And thank you for tagging us. Ochike, I want to thank you. Really. You know, this is only a part 1.0.
No problem. No problem.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
No other comments here. We have very many thanks for another great episode of Unplugged. Also, thanks to Ochuke Adrian. Thank you. Thank you very much for putting up with me, everybody. These shoes were very big shoes to fill. And for every time I said is instead of saying was, just please forgive me. And thank you, Julia, for being so real with us and for being very open to us today. We thank you. And yeah, at this point, we'll look forward to seeing you guys on the next episode of Unplugged, and keep being awesome. Stay innovative, get those ideas running. No idea is too big or too small. Just keep going. And when you, like Julia said, failure is only I think so that failure is only failure when you stay down. When you fall, pick it up, keep going, grit. Everything you need is at the tip of your fingers, really, if you just really look well, and you can be the best you can be at every time. Thank you so much, and bye bye, guys.
And get good friends.
Yes, get good friends.
Bye, guys. Yes.
I'm selling
Bye,
forms
guys.
for the
Thank you.
School of Julia.
Yes, please. Yes, please. Actually, the other thing is that we are building an Unplugged community, and we're going to tell you more about it very, very soon.
But you can contact me for forms for School of Julia. Just send some money into my
Yes,
account.
please. Your account.
All right, guys. Bye.
Send it into his account. It will get to me. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for
Thank
coming.
you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye bye.